Hello everyone, I'm here to give my persuasive speech.
My name is Yada Mac.
Hi, my name is Miss Mac.
Hi, my name is Louie Mac.
My name is Dave.
So, if you were in a horror film or just a part of the natural life of Predator versus Prey, and you saw a group of your own kind running away from something, you would be inclined to do the same, right? What if there were a group of people, or of your own species, that remain still because they don't see the need to flee or to run away from anything? The questionable threat that I'm talking about is AI. I'm Latalia M, and I'm going to cry wolf about AI and why I believe it is not necessarily a major threat, but why I believe it is a risk to humanity's creativity and originality in the art world. Because though I can see both sides, I am very firm on my own stance. And because of that, I don't support any animosity amongst anyone who has differing opinions. So please don't be hostile towards somebody who disagrees with you, and vice versa. So now let's get into it. Outside of AI being a multi-purpose tool, it's important to understand the origin and creation of it in an artistic sense. And AI art is a tool that uses references and creations made by real people to create their own quote-unquote art piece. And in Wynn's article, If Art is How We Express Our Humanity, Where Does AI Fit In?, he interviews Epstein about AI art in the media and how it's trained to produce anything that the developers tell it to the best of its ability, which is not the same exactly as somebody picking up a pencil and doing it themselves, because in a way they're not creating the art themselves. And because of this, he also shared how generative AI systems can accelerate the creative process while also removing the ideation process that starts with a blank state. And this basically means that when you use AI to create an artwork, it doesn't go through the steps of doing the sketch or finding an actual reference to sketch off of. It just immediately jumps into trying to create the idea that you have in mind. So it misses out those first crucial steps that lead up to what artists are very familiar with. And because of this, it also removes that sense of humanity and creativity, because it's not something that's very in tune with artists. And because of this, people tend to go back and forth as to what is considered creative or original, and whether AI can actually fit into that criteria. Art is very subjective, and over the course of centuries, its definition has changed as a result of new mediums being used and explored. And in this case, AI users and supporters believe that this technological tool is just another medium that we are exploring within our time. But there are a bunch of artists who are concerned about it and the true creativity of AI art, because all it does, in a sense, is take the inspiration from an art piece that was already created, and it's just built off of code and primary sources. So it raises a question of whether it is actually original or its own piece. Some people argue that AI is just a tool that we as humans can use and explore because we have created it and it doesn't control us. But there are plenty of artists that are sounding the alarm on its exploitation of artists. Because from Lovato et al., in their article, they emphasized how generative AI developers should obtain consent for training data and give fair recognition to the artists that they take the inspiration from, and be more transparent in what they are going to use the art for. Because unfortunately, that is a very massive issue and problem within the art community, because a lot of developers don't really ask beforehand. They just take the art and then use it to create their own piece and say that everything was their own. And this is very harmful in the art world, because while being an artist itself can be very rewarding, it is very taxing towards the people who pursue it. And for a generative tool to make a profit off of somebody else's art that they put time and effort into, and they're able to make money off of it, and they don't give any of that credibility or recognition to the artist that they took the inspiration from, that's not very ethical. And an artist that understands this concept very well is none other than Hayao Miyazaki, the co-founder of beloved and respected Studio Ghibli. In the statistical sheet made by Katatakarn, 73% of artists say that they should be asked before developers take their AI and create an artwork based off of their own art piece. And that's something that Miyazaki would most likely agree with, because he and his company have spent years and hours, and days sketching out their own pieces and editing it themselves. They create a lot of handcraft pieces and artworks that make it so charming and nostalgic to so many people from all across the globe, not just in Asia. And when his art was copied by AI for the sake of a TikTok trend, he described it as an insult to life itself. AI is also very controversial because, piggybacking off of this, the copyright laws that follow it are very gray and very muddy in a sense. The main issue here is that artists want to be held in recognition for what they create, and they want developers who take their art without permission to be held accountable for art theft. But because so many of these art laws are outdated, they don't qualify for this modern technology that keeps on being advanced and produced in a daily rate. So they don't have enough resources, or there's not enough copyright protection laws against it. And right now they can't keep up with it, there's nothing being updated, so a lot of artists are stuck in the dark, and their art's not getting the recognition that AI is taking from them. But in all its entirety, AI has a lot to offer towards humanity, but the negative impact on art should not be an aspect of it that people just accept. Because the risk of art theft, the lack of credibility that they get, and the potential loss of jobs are all valid concerns, and they should be taken seriously instead of painting traditional artists or anti-AI artists as gatekeepers or people who are stuck in the past. This tool takes the laboring, the joy, and the process of learning art. It takes it all, and it just completely discards it. Because art is not something that you can properly understand and appreciate just by typing in a prompt or by coding. It's something that takes time and curiosity, and that's something that we as people, as humans and as a species, are able to give it. So, leaving this speech, I want you to wonder how much creativity we'll be able to preserve when humanity relies so heavily on a tool that saps that creativity and authenticity out of us. And rather than seeing AI opposers as people who cry wolf, we should try to see things from their perspective to learn just what threatens them and what they worry about so much. Because in doing so, we can reconsider whether or not we might have missed who the real monster or killer in this horror film was all along. Thank you. Are there any questions?
No. No.
Any questions, Ms. Anna?
No, you did a wonderful job. It was very informative and well said.
Okay. Any questions for you?
No question. Sorry.
Do you have any questions, Mr. N?
I do not have any questions.
Okay. Thank you all again.